Well, hi YouTubers, hi, I'm back with the 6 Mile 60 books, and it is The Ship by Antonia Honeywell. The Hunger Games meets the London riots on board Noah's Ark. Read it, says the Times. Engrossing, said the Daily Mail. Addictive, said Elle magazine. Right. Okay, now I found out a couple of years ago in the London borough of Uxbridge, there was this big kind of like literary event. This was like the book of like the season, if you will. So I picked this up for Uxbridge Library for like 10 pence. This was like in like the never actually sold box. This was they had so many of these that they had to basically just get rid of them so quickly. So yeah, I put this way. Okay, this was only one person actually ever got this out because I had so many of them, and that was on 24th of October 2016. Okay, so and well, here we go. Welcome to London, but not as you know it. Oxford Street burned for 3 weeks. Regent's Park has been bombed. The British Museum is occupied with those with nowhere else to go. Lala has grown up sheltered from the chaos by her visionary father, but now she's 16. He decides it's time to use their escape route, a big ship, big enough to save 500 people. Once on board, as day follows identical day, Lala's unease grows. Where are they going? What does her father really want? What is the price of salvation? Okay, so dystopic novel set in the future. London is just basically gone. Okay, London is just destroyed, which is a difficult read, being a Londoner and all. And so Lala's father, who is visionary, builds a ship for 500 people, basically a massive cruise ship. Okay, and start off because this is all told through the first-person narrative. Here we go. Right. We went to Regent's Park to look at the tents people had set up as temporary accommodation, although she wouldn't let me speak to anyone. Oh, her mother. I went to the new banks of the Thames too to see Big Ben and the London Eye peering mournfully out of the water. But even with security of troops patrols, London had become desolate and dangerous, and soon our outings became confined to the British Museum, just around the corner. You were there every day. It became my schoolroom, my playground, my almost home. Time went by, and so people starved. Still they slept in their floating death traps or in campsites that had been created in London's parks, now surrounded by razor wire. I saw all these things through the bubble of safety and relative plenty in which I lived, some so often that I became immune. My father saw them too, because he was a little bewildered by his great triumph. The dove had not saved the world, so he set around saving his own world, my mother and I, another way. I would like to be in control. So yeah, so essentially the dove, it pretty much became a, just like a card carrying system where if you lost your card, you kind of lost all your rights, and you lost your home, and you kind of went up on the streets. This tiny little plastic card, like that, the equivalent. Okay, so that's just an empty SIM card, but you know what I mean. Everyone's lost an ID somewhere along the lines. Okay, however, if you lose your ID, you don't often you lose your life or your home or your livelihood. So that's kind of how London's kind of fallen into, okay? Now things about Lala or Lalage, okay? This is how her name's spelled, L-A-L-A-G-E, so it's Lalage, I believe, okay? Being sheltered all her life, she views things in kind of sheltered way. She sees the people starving on the streets, but it doesn't really kind of impact her. Even though she's gone through periods of starvation and difficult times, she's still kind of very, very sheltered. She kind of lives in this little bubble, okay? Which is quite interesting in comparison to the other people. Okay, so Lala turns 16, she gets her card, and then obviously gets to worse, and they wind up on the ship. This is at page around 38, okay? And the authorities don't really want them to go because they're properties of the state, because they're ID cards. So they just throw them overboard. They declare themselves free. Yeah. Yep. Here you go. This bit here. I think Lala did it because she's trying to make a statement. You know, look at me, I'm a revolutionary. Here we go. The bodies on the streets have become ghastly. The government bombings have been horrific. The battles at the food points have been violent and bloody. But none of them had anything to do with me. Now my card had gone, and with it any chance I had of survival in the old world. Like my mother, I had given myself wholly and completely to my father or to death. We had to set sail. Right. Now that's the thing. At this point, the ship set sail, okay, with 500 people on it's like a Zeus cruise ship where there's food and abundance and people kind of descend into apathy, okay? They reread old books, but I don't write anything new. They make tapestries, which is fine, okay, but eventually things are going to wear out. They don't move on to the next point. Because, and this is a spoiler here, there is no next point. This is Lala basically figuring out that this ship is just going in circles. There is no world anymore. It's been bombed to smithereens. Polar ice caps has melted. There's nothing left. The world is basically at an end. This is it. Okay? And the thing is about Lala is, as a character, she's not as smart as you think she is. So she's not as smart as she thinks she is. But this is an example of the food. This is page 67. This is more about the ship itself, okay? Plates are brought to us filled with something that smells savoury and maddening. I can smell garlic and salt, and my mouth filled with saliva. I look like chicken. I swallowed and swallowed again, and I put my hand out for my fork. A quick hand prevented me from picking it up. A man with skin like a pig of walnut nodded before my father. Respect. The man said softly, his dark eyes shining. The chicken and garlic smell hung tantalising in the air. While I picked up his knife and fork, everyone in Diner Hall did the same. And at the moment was gone, I ate. Now, that's an interesting bit, okay? Now, in the royal family, you are not allowed to eat before the Queen does. You're sitting at this big table, overlooking at the Queen. You do not pick up your knife and fork until the Queen does. Okay? The Queen eats first. It's just a symbol of respect. Now, at this point, Lala's father has been kind of exalted to this figurehead of monarch. Figurehead of godlike, okay? Now, Lala's mother dies before Follicky even sets sail, but this bit here, this kind of shows this kind of messiah angle her father takes, okay? Here we go. Love Lala, he said to the people. A wind blew from the sea and I shivered. Enfold her, teach her the universality of goodness. Show her your love for mankind, the dead for which you were brought on board, the love for which you were brought on board. Anna is dead, you lost her before you came to know her, but the very fact that you are here is testimony to Anna's vision, her love, her faith in you. You will find Anna in each other. Her death will draw you closer together during life because she created this life for you. But Lala is just a child. You lost her mother. Can you bear that for her? Can you enfold Lala into yourself as surely as the sea will unfold Anna and take her to itself? Amen. That's not in the book. I just felt like adding that. Exactly. Her father becomes this messianic figure to all the people who essentially, after a lifetime of drudgery and starvation and pain and anger and suffering and death and murder, they are willing to give themselves up to apathy. They are willing to give themselves to apathy. They are willing to give themselves up to the fact that they're going nowhere because humanity is ending. And the thing is, the food will run out eventually, but not them. Next generation. Yeah. Now, but Lala is not as smart as she thinks she is. Now, she hooks up with this guy called Tom, who turns out basically to be a kind of like a little plant set by Daddy to kind of, you know, make her feel better. Kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of figurehead going on. Okay. But essentially, Lala, okay, is a spoiler territory here. Lala has it out with her father, who basically lays it out the truth for her. Here we go. I'm looking in the future you won't be part of. You'll be dead and I still have 40 years to go. Why do you think that I show you all these things? Why do you think I talk to you, allow you to speak to me in this manner? I recognise youth, I recognise idealism. I see myself in you and I've done everything I can to give you a future. He stopped and looked around. The screens and maps that beep loud in the silence. We cry about things running out as though it's news. But it's not news. Of course things will run out, but we've stopped for at least 20 years. Probably more. That's 20 years of life for you, Lala. 20 years for you to learn and create inside your own future. The future of the next generation. Okay. Now, anyone with a weather stock, because I was only 16, her dad's 40. would just bide your time, okay? Bide your time. Eventually, Dad's going to die from something. Now, this place is... We've just got one doctor, okay? Here are 500. People are going to get viruses. People are going to start dropping like flies eventually. Food's going to run out, okay? So that's going to happen, alright? I personally would have waited, because Lana's got this idealism of land has been destroyed, we've got to go back for rescuers, we've got to find land, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, okay? When the world around her, it just descended into apathy. Anyone else would just bide their time, learn as much as you could, okay? And eventually, when dear old daddy buggers off, you go find land, okay? Not her. It's this way this book becomes a bit stupid. Here we go. Lala and Tom basically, you know, were doing the nasty quite a bit. And she was pregnant, so they decided to get married, okay? Now this bit here is, even though Lala looks down on the, her father's kind of messiah complex, she loves it when the tender is given to her. Here we go. I owed my father to the 4th day and trying the dress he had chosen for me. You saved us at the start, Lala, he said to me, and now you're saving us again. Saviour, had quite a nice ring to it. I'm just wondering why everyone seemed to love me so much. I learned to be happy. I thought of my early days on the ship as a troubled night that had given way to dawn, and the dawn was so bright I couldn't see the darkness beyond. I had Tom, and I had the ship. I had my father, and I had myself. I was a new person, a happy person, and to be that person I had to let go of anger and doubt and enjoy every moment as it came. Okay, no. Okay, I'm going to spoil this book, okay? At the end of it, Lala decides to basically leave her wedding, leave the ship, that she's pregnant, she's got no idea what anything is, and just sail off into the great unknown. Even though at the beginning of the book, okay, she threw away her card, so even though she's next to an unperson, even though she probably won't survive out in the open sea because she's got no training on surviving on the open sea, but we're supposed to think of her doing this as some big grand gesture, where I just sit there thinking, Lala, you are an idiot through and through. When anyone on the ship told you of her previous lives, okay, and her father does get the messianic complex going on, basically imploring the people to kind of get rid of all the old possessions, old pictures of their old family, kind of like let them go, embrace this new life. Your father has a messianic complex going on. You don't really see how other people have suffered because you lived your life sheltered, and yet you demand things like, let's go back to London, let's do this, let's do that. Now, even though I don't agree with the 500 people's, well, minus one's apathy, I can understand it. So, this is quite an conflicting novel, and sadly it's not going to get a sequel, but the thing about Lala is that she's too shattered to function, if you understand. But, as a debut novel, I will give Antonia Honeywell its dues. She's a very, very strong writer. It's a very impressive debut. Okay, so it came out a couple of years ago as a spoiling. I can do that now. And I'm signing off here. And bye now.